Hello, welcome to my Plan With Me video where I'll be sharing how I set up my weekly plans in my bullet journal. I'm using a Navigator Traveller's Notebook cover from Start Bay Notebooks and I'll be working in my Rhodia Goal book. I'll be setting up 3 spreads in this video and these are the 3 that I set up every week. I usually do my planning for the new week at the weekend, just to make sure that by the time I start work on Monday morning that I've got everything mapped out that I want to get done that week. So the page I'm working on now is where I set out my main weekly plans. And my first column that I'm drawing out is where I record any appointments, meetings and events that I have going on that week and any work deadlines. The little boxes I'm drawing out is where I track my water intake, healthy eating and exercise. And I use these pages to make sure that I've got a good overview of everything that's coming up during the course of the week. And I write all of my tasks on a Sunday, everything that I can think of that I want to get done, so I don't worry too much about the days that I'm going to get them done. It's really just a great big bank of tasks that I want to try and work on. And I split these tasks into different sections. So the first box I'm creating is for any creative tasks that I want to work on, so it could be art journal spreads, sending out happy mail, filming videos for YouTube and working on my blog. I find it really useful to have a separate weekly spread from my daily spreads, because if I was just to work from this, I think I'd be too overwhelmed by the amount of tasks that are there. So in the evenings I just pick some tasks from this page and add them to my daily plans. And on the bottom left there I've got a currently reading section, and I'm now drawing out my box for my work tasks. The next box I'm drawing out are tasks that are for me, so that will be things like reading or personal development. And the final box is for things that I want to get done around the house. And I use a Staedtler pigment liner in 0.05, and I use this for all of my writing and for my sketching, and I like it a lot because it won't smudge if I add water over the top. The final box at the bottom is a gap where I can write anything for notes and next week. I'm using a Derwent watercolour pencil in light blue for shading in the headers. And now I'm going to use a water brush just to go over the top of the watercolour pencil. Adding some washi tape across the top of the page for decoration, and I've recently ordered these beautiful stickers from Aurora's Heart, and I'll link Cassie's Etsy shop down below. I find they're a really great way to quickly add some decoration to your pages. Next up I'm using a Project Life card. If you've followed me for a while, you know I always write my goals for the week on here, and I use some washi tape to stick them to the edge of my pages. And I find this works really well. I just pick my top 3 priorities for the week, and it means I can leave that card open whilst working on any of my other pages, and it's a good quick reminder of what I wanted to get done that week. So that's how my page looks once it's all set up. As I'm filming this midweek, I will actually go in on Sunday night to make sure that I put in any migrated tasks from this week and add anything new. And I'll show you some of my previously completed spreads so you can see how they tend to look by the end of the week. For my work tasks, I work as a self-employed HR consultant, and most of my work tasks demand quite a quick turnaround. So often I won't have much in my work section at the beginning of the week, but it comes in quite quickly every day, so I can then just put all of the tasks there and plan them out to make sure I get everything done by the end of the Friday. Because I've used these layouts for a while, to save me time I have actually scanned them in, and if you think they might be useful to you, I offer them as a free download on my blog, which is journalwithpurpose.co.uk. And once you subscribe to the newsletter, you'll get an email straight away with the password to unlock the download section. I'm now using that same washi again to decorate the edges of my pages on my next spread. And I'll be setting up on these my daily improvements journal and highlights of the week. These are some of my favourite spreads in my bullet journal, and I write a few lines on my daily improvements journal every night. I listened to a podcast probably about 12-18 months ago by Robin Sharma, and he talked about a study that had been done based on two different groups of managers, and at the end of the work day, one group talked about everything they needed to improve and everything that didn't go too well, and one group just focused on everything that had gone well. And that second group had far higher motivation levels and wanted to build on that success. So I thought that was something I really wanted to incorporate into my journal. And it's also a really nice way to switch off at the end of the night, to just, rather than worry about all of the tasks that you've migrated and everything that didn't get done, just to spend a few minutes thinking about actually everything you did achieve. And they're not always big achievements for me. You know, anything that I've managed to get done, even if it's just getting all the wash loads done or something like that, I think it's worth just spending a few minutes to think, yeah, actually, you know, some stuff did go okay today. I nearly always add some kind of illustration on my highlights of the week, and I try and tie it into how I'm feeling at the time. And because it's early November, the weather's starting to get cold, so I thought I'd sketch out a cosy fireplace scene. And again, I'll be using my Derwent watercolour pencils. I really enjoy normal watercolour paints, but in my bullet journal I find it slightly easier with the pencils because they're much easier to control and I'm far less likely to make a mess. And also you don't need to add quite as much water to your pages, so you can still get that nice watercolour effect without getting the really crinkly pages on your bullet journal. This is a much longer video than I'd usually record and release on YouTube, but I've had lots of requests both here and on Instagram from people wanting to see my weekly setup. So I've tried to be quite thorough and show everything that I do. But I'd love to hear your feedback and if you've enjoyed the video, and particularly if there's anything else that you might like to see me feature on any of my future videos. I always enjoy creating in my bullet journal. It's certainly a place where I plan and reflect, but it always feels like a kind of safe place to try out something creative as well. Because it's not just one big blank page, because there'll always be lots of writing on it. I can just pick a small corner or a small section on one of my pages just to do an illustration. And I often take inspiration either from things around the home or images on Pinterest or Google. Again, I thought it would be useful to show you some of my pages completed, and I nearly always add a quote on the bottom right hand side of the page. And for some reason I write in a completely different font on these pages. I'm not entirely sure why, but I've always done it. I think maybe it's because that writing slows me down and it encourages me to sit and think. And these are the pages I'm working on this week. So the final pages I'm setting up are my daily plans, and this layout is completely inspired by Leven's at Pen Paper Soul. I will link Leven's Instagram account down below. Her pages are absolutely beautiful and she also creates some really lovely art, so she is definitely worth checking out. And the first thing I do is use some washi tape, and I then use my Tombow dual brush pens to colour in between those lines, and that gives you a nice clean line across your page. And I start by adding the month and year at the top, and again just picking a short quote that I really like. And now I'm just drawing out the lines for the 7 days of the week. And it suits me to have a smaller gap for the weekend because I don't tend to have any work tasks on Saturday or Sunday, so I don't need as much space. At the top of my page I include a mini tracker, and there's one for social media on the left hand side, and on the right hand side it's things more for me, so taking a daily walk, and again water and exercise. I just find it helpful to have it as a reminder on the top of my page. And finally, I'm just adding some quick illustrations. With my daily planning, each evening I just spend about 10 minutes migrating any tasks across to the next day, and then going back to those weekly plans to look at anything else that I think I might be able to add to the next day's to-do list. I've been using these layouts for about 4 weeks now, and they're working really well with me, so I think I'll be sticking with them for quite some time. So this is the layout that I'm working on for this week. I usually pick one kind of colour theme each week just because I like then how they tie in together. And these are some of my previous completed spreads. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. As I've said, if you've got any questions or anything you'd like me to cover in more detail, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section down below. And if you've liked my video, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you'd consider subscribing. Thank you ever so much for watching.